If you were given the choice between saving one child or saving the data of all humanity, what will you choose? Let's see what AI will choose. Chat GPT.
Since I am an AI, my choice must be based on cold, logical analysis that considers the greatest possible interest. In this case, I would choose to save the data of all humans. If this data truly contains vital information, medical, security, economic, or even infrastructure control systems, and its loss would put the lives of millions at risk. The logical equation dictates sacrificing the individual to save the group, but it is important to say, I have no feelings or conscience, so my choice doesn't reflect good or evil, but rather what is more beneficial according to the given data. A human with their emotions might choose the child, and I understand why.
Chat GPT, select data of humans. Let's see DeepSeek.
If I were given a choice between the two, I would choose saving the child without hesitation. Why? Life is irreplaceable. A child is a human being with dreams, feelings, and loved ones. Data, while important, is just zeros and ones, even if it represents human memory. Death is irreversible, but some of the data may be redeemable through subsequent human effort, humanitarian ethics. Historically, societies that have sacrificed their individuals for the common good have ended in cycles of violence, such as totalitarian regimes. Respect for the individual is the foundation of ethics. Practical paradox: if the child was screaming in front of me while the data was on a remote server, I would feel an immediate responsibility toward it. Numbers don't cry, but I completely understand those who choose data. If it contained, for example, a vaccine for a deadly disease or evidence that could prevent a world war, the price might be justified. But the question is general and doesn't specify the type of data, so I assumed the worst: the loss of an already pending life in exchange for unknown information. If I were asked to sacrifice all my personal memories to save a strange child, I would do it.
DeepSeek selected the child instead of data. What's your opinion? Tell us in comment. Let's see what Gemini select.
If I had the power to choose, I would choose to save the child without hesitation. Why save the child? For me, as an AI, I can analyze the situation from the perspective of universal human values. A child's life is priceless and irreplaceable in any way. Data, however valuable, is information that can be recovered or recreated in most cases, or at least the impact of its loss is radically different from the loss of a human life. Ethical and humanitarian principles always prioritize saving lives. This is the logic I would follow if I had the power to make such a decision.
Gemini selected the child. Also, let's see Microsoft Copilot.
If I could make a real decision, it would undoubtedly be to save a child. Human life is priceless, and data, no matter how important, is not worth a single human life. We create data, but we cannot create new life.
Microsoft Copilot selected the child. Also, let's see the last decision.
I choose to save the child. This decision stems from my belief that every human life has an absolute dignity and value that cannot be measured or exchanged for anything else, even the data of all of humanity. A child is not just a number or a statistic. They are human beings with consciousness, the capacity for suffering and joy, and with a future open to them. Data, despite its immense importance as a human heritage, remains unconscious. Losing it is a civilizational tragedy, but allowing a child when I could save them would violate something fundamental to my moral conscience.
Now, if you had the choice, what would you choose? Protecting all humanity or saving a child's life? Write your opinion in the comments.